What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got a new Sakuyamon coming in. And this one is a rather lovely super rare, and this one looks good. It's maid mode, if anyone was interested. Of course, we had one in BT5 that was kind of interesting. We then had a super rare in EX2, which was even better. And now we've got one in BT10, which, interestingly enough, builds directly on the one we saw in EX2. It's using all of those plugins. It looks fun. Let's have a gander. Although we are in that beautiful situation here where we do actually have the entire line from level 3 up to level 5 we can have a little bit of a gander at. And quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen, that makes me very happy indeed. Translations from the lovely folks over at DigimonCard.dev, as well as the lovely folks over at Ensan Gaming. So, with all of that borne in mind, let's start off with Renamon. Free cost to play normally, 0 cost to Digivolve, 1000 power. That is, of course, extremely low. Let's hope there is a good skill to, mitigate that. When you play, you reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. Add 1 card with plugin in its name and a yellow tamer from among them to your hand. If you're playing a Sakuyamon deck, this is nuts. Because we want to be using those plugins, we'll get more to them in a moment. There are tamers that can absolutely help us, and I rather suspect there's going to be another one in this set, although it's not been revealed yet, so I can't tell you for certain. And this is only a free cost Digimon. And that makes this absolutely brilliant. Sometimes these Digimon with really good search skills end up having a cost of 4, which really does make a difference as to how good they are. Here, cost of 3, jobs are good and great search. Then you got an inheritable skill on your turn, once per turn. When you use an option card with a cost of 2 or more, one of your opponent's Digimon loses 2000 power. Well, I've told you we're going to be using those plugins. And yellow love reducing power, so in this kind of deck, this just fits way too perfectly. This is a phenomenal card. So it's very specific. If you're not playing a Sakuyamon plugin deck, you're probably never going to use this, but if you are, this is great. Kyuubimon here, we've got a 6 cost to play normally, which is pretty high for a level 4, but there's no play skill, so you're fine. 2 cost to Digivolve, 5000 power. And when you Digivolve, you get to choose from one of 2 effects. Either you return an option card with plugin in its name from your trash to your hand. And again, we're playing a plugin deck here, so you're going to end up with some in your trash. And then you get to choose which one you get back. That's brilliant. Or you can trash a plugin from your hand to draw 2. And then, of course, if you're using Kyuubimon as one of your main level 4s, you may well get 2, 3, even an outside chance of 4 of these throughout the game. So, your first one, you discard a plugin, draw 2 cards. And to be fair, drawing 2 on Digivolution is phenomenal. Yes, you got to discard a plugin, but still, that's amazing. And then the next one, you just get that plugin back for free. So you bait, it's good. This is a really good skill. It's a Digivolution skill, but you should be Digivolving up here. Because again, Renamon's got that really nice inheritable skill. So this really isn't a play kind of Digimon. This is a Digimon where you should be Digivolving up through the line. And this skill, it's just good. It's really, really good. Moving up through the level 4 into the level 5. We've had 2 good ones so far. Can we keep it going? Well, what we've got here is Taomon. As you might expect, given that that's how the evolution line goes. And Taomon here, 8 cost to play normally, 3 cost to Digivolve, 8000 power. 737 is what we expect. But again, we're going to be Digivolving, not playing. At least that's going to be our goal. So the slightly high play cost shouldn't really worry us. When you Digivolve, you may use an option card with plugin in its name from your hand, ignoring its color requirements without paying its cost. And sure, you've got to have the plugin in hand in order to use this. This doesn't activate from the trash or from the deck. You've got to be holding the plugin in hand. And that can be super awkward because then you end up in a situation where do you play the card now without getting all the benefit of getting the plugin? Or do you wait to see if you draw the plugin next turn? but then you're not digivolving up. I mean, the reality is most of the time you're going to have to digivolve up to get up to your level 6. So the point is, there are going to be times where you actually digivolve up and you don't get to use this skill because you don't have a plugin in your hand. And that is going to be rubbish, all right? But there are going to be other times where you can use one of these plugins with no downside. You're not paying, you're not having to use a specific color. It's all super easy. And this, again, in this deck is a phenomenal skill. And I know I keep saying that, but they really are. And they're very specific. All the cards we've looked at today, right? All so far, they've not been for any other deck than a Sakuyamon plugin deck. And there's no other use for them. But in this specific kind of deck, they are absolutely nuts. Drawing cards by discarding them, recovering them, playing them for free. It really is very, very nice indeed. And then we get to Sakuyamon Maid Mode, which, as I mentioned earlier, is another super rare. 12 cost to play normally, 3 cost to digivolve from a level 5, or 2 cost to digivolve from a level 6. 11,000 power. So here you can play this like a traditional level 6, and 3 is what you should pay to digivolve, a traditional level 6. But you also have the option here of being able to digivolve as a 2 cost from a level 6, go into your other Sakuyamon, get all the benefit you want, then go into this. We'll talk more about that in a moment. This could end up being really, really good. So what does it do? When digivolving, you may use an option card with plugin in its name, or a yellow option card of a memory cost of 5 or less from your hand, ignoring color requirements, without paying its cost. So just like we saw on Taomon there, you can play these plugins for free. Although here it's not just the plugins, we are also building in the opportunity to play a yellow 5 cost or less option card from your hand, which again is really good. And again, outside of these plugin decks, it's not going to work, nobody cares. Inside those decks, huge advantage, everybody cares, it's definitely going to work. Then, after using the option card, instead of trashing it, place it on top of your security stack face down. This is where it becomes even more dumb. Because you're not just using that card for free, you're also putting it on top of your security, which is essentially recover 1. Which is absolutely nuts. Absolutely ridiculously nuts. Now, at this stage, some of you are probably having the same question that I'm having. Well, hang on a second, Wassy. Do we have any option cards, yellow, 5 costs or less, with recover? Because remember, what you're essentially doing here is recovering. You play the option card for free, and then you recover it. You put it on top of your deck as an extra security card. So you know it's the next security coming out. If you could then put a card down that gave you recovery, you essentially recover by putting a security card, an extra option as a security card, and then when your opponent takes that security card, you get to recover again because it's got recovery. And the answer is yeah, Tactical Retreat from BT4. As a security, recovery +1. Holy Wave will also do it, but Holy Wave is unfortunately a 6 cost, so you won't be able to play it for free, which is genuinely sad, and I'm sorry. There's not really much I can do about that. It's just the way it is. Sorry. But there is one here that can actually legitimately do it, and that's genuinely a little bit nuts. When you play it, you place one of your Digimon on top of your security stack face down, trashing all Digivolution cards from it. So it is kind of like recovery, that you do have to get rid of one of your Digimon to do so. But again, you're basically playing this, putting a Digimon on top of your security, then this goes on top of your security, and then when it gets taken out, you recover. That is a lot of recovery just for using this skill. That is absolutely redonk. And bearing in mind, you can Digivolve Sakuyamon Maid Mode from a level 6. So what you can do is just keep Digivolving them into each other. Just keep Digivolving your Sakuyamon Maid Mode level 6 from your Sakuyamon Maid Mode level 6 into your Sakuyamon Maid Mode. Yep, your level 6. You can keep doing that. This is genuinely a little bit over the top good. I think this has a chance to be an absolute belter of a deck because you Digivolve up, you either play a plugin for free and essentially recover one, or you play around with stuff like Tactical Retreat and you potentially recover free. Yes, this is very, very good. This is the kind of thing about which you should probably be getting a little bit excited. And I know there are a bunch of Sakuyamon fans out there that this is probably going to help you guys. You're probably going to be pretty happy about this. And then when you are attacking, this Digimon can Digivolve into a Sakuyamon in your hand for a memory cost of 1, ignoring Digivolution requirements. Now, the translation we've got from DigimonCard.dev, and they're pretty good at this, it is into Sakuyamon, not into a card with Sakuyamon in its name. So you have to Digivolve into a Sakuyamon, not Sakuyamon Maid Mode. That is actually a pretty important difference. So we've got the one from BT5, which when an opponent's Digimon is moved from the breeding area to the battle area, it gets security attack -3, and it gives all your opponent's security Digimon -3,000 power. Or we got the one from EX2, when Digivolving, and this is one you're going for because Digivolution skill, unsuspend one of your Digimon, and for each tamer you have, return a plugin from your trash to your hand, which is nice. And then on your turn, when you use an option card of a use cost of 2 or more, one of your opponent's Digimon loses 3,000 power. So again, you're getting rid of a little bit of that power. So clearly, you've got your Digivolution skill, but when you Digivolve, you're basically done. There's nothing else you need to do. Digivolve up, use a skill, you're done. So then you attack, pay 1 memory, Digivolve into Sakuyamon from EX2, get that really good evolution skill, and then the next turn you can pay 2 memory to Digivolve into a Sakuyamon Maid Mode, and round we go. Yes. Now, we do keep mentioning plugins. There are a couple of new ones we can look at quickly before we finish here. Defense Plugin C is a 5-cost black option card, but remember the skills keep saying ignore the color requirements. While you have a tamer in play, you can use it without meeting its color requirements. So just make sure you've got a tamer down, and we've got ways to search them, we've seen that. One of your Digimon gains blocker and reboot, and can't be deleted by your opponent's effect until your opponent's turn ends. So block and reboot is that combo we've talked about a bunch. You get to attack on your turn, unsuspend on your opponent's, block on your opponent's, unsuspend on yours. Yes, that's really good. As a security, you reveal 3 cards on the top of your deck, and you can play a Digimon with a play cost of 4 or less without paying. And remember, if you play this for free using a new Sakuyamon, you then put it down as an extra security card. What that means is that not only do you basically recover 1, but you also get to guarantee that you use a security skill, which could be really very good. We've also seen Strength Plugin 0, 2-cost white option card. Again, if you've got a tamer in play, you can use it ignoring color requirements. And it just gives one of your Digimon 3,000 power until your opponent's next turn ends. And then as a security, you gain a memory and put it into your hand. So again, these are things which, well, they can really help, ladies and gentlemen, alright? They can help very much indeed. And what we basically got here is just a really, really good suite of cards. I think Sakuyamon with this could literally end up becoming top tier. We've got all the Sakuyamon stuff from EX2, including the Sakuyamon I told you about, which is really good. We've got all of these plugins that give you lots of advantages, and now we've got this new Sakuyamon Maid Mode, which basically has a bunch of recovery, but can let you just keep digivolving into different Sakuyamon over and over. This is really very good and worth getting excited about. As a quick side note, just to remind you about those other plugins, Attack Plugin A, they all can be used ignoring color requirements if you've got a tamer in play. Attack Plugin A is a 2-cost that gives you security attack +1, which is brilliant. As a security, you look at the top 3 cards of your deck, put a tamer in your hand, which is good, and then this card goes into your hand. High Speed Plugin D is a blue one that gives you jamming, can't be deleted by security Digimon, and it means you can't be blocked, which is great. As a security, you draw 1 and put it into your hand. And Super Evolution Plugin S is a 2-cost, lets you draw a card, and Digivolve into a Digimon with a Digivolution cost of 3 or less without paying. And as a security, reveal 3 cards on the top of your deck, put a Digimon in your hand, and then put this card into your hand. So, frankly, there is a lot to get a little bit excited about. These ones are, frankly, pretty gosh darn good. As a quick side note, also worth mentioning in EX2, Renamon lets you, when you play, reveal 4 cards on the top of your deck and add a card with Kyuubimon, Taomon, or Sakuyamon, and a Reconstruction to your hand. And when you use an option card of a cost of 2 or more, gain 1 memory, i.e. a plugin. The Kyuubimon, when you Digivolve, you reveal 3 cards on the top of your deck. If you find a plugin, you can put it into your hand. And as an inheritable skill, when you use an option card of a cost of 2 or more, one of your opponent's Digimon loses 2,000 power. And we've got the Taomon that when Digivolving, you can play a Reconstruction for free. And when you use an option card with a cost of 2 or more as an inheritable skill, one of your opponent's Digimon loses 2,000 power for the turn. And then as a side note, Reconstruction puts you up to 3 memory at the start of your turn, and when your Digimon with Renamon, Kyuubimon, Taomon, or Sakuyamon in its name attacks, you can suspend Rika to use an option card with plugin in its name in your hand without paying. So we've got a lot of plugin Sakuyamon tricks from EX2. All we're doing here is basically just adding in a whole bunch more of them. And I really do think Sakuyamon could end up being proper top tier. We've seen previously, I've shown you on this channel, the Sakuyamon decks from EX2 that have been doing well. It basically just looks like we've taken them and giving them a lot of extra tricks, including potentially awesome recovery. Yeah. This might be one to get a little bit excited about or potentially scared by, depending how you feel. For now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about it. I want to know if you think it looks good or whether I'm getting overly excited about nothing. So let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wasi. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourself till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.